one thing that kind of people don't know is that when we create a new body, NASCAR limits how good that body can be. So it's very, very difficult for each manufacturer to hit the mark because they made the mark, which you cannot be better as the Chevrolet. So the Chevrolet has the most downforce, and it has to be okay. So Ford had the least amount of drag. When we tested next gen cars a couple years ago, the bodies of the cars, Ford had the least amount of drag, and Chevy had the most amount of downforce. So they said from this point on in submission, when you build a new car, make it fit, the OEM's, template of what they want for their production car, but you're never going to be allowed to be better than the Chevy. And you will never be allowed to be, less drag than the Ford. So we were kind of in a spot with the Toyotas where we were just kind of in between on both. And we thought we made some improvements here and there, but it's still we still couldn't beat the baseline, which is the current Chevrolet car.
I feel like if you're going to allow a car to be changed, then like the line should be moved, or else like Chevy you can't get better. Like that doesn't seem fair.
I mean, I would agree. It doesn't seem fair, but they're trying to get us to all drive the same exact cars. NASCAR is trying to get us to
different logos on them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to just get us to all drive the same thing, and no matter what manufacturer you're with, you're at no advantage or disadvantage. Now, I think that the Ford's new car definitely still is the drag king. Like, it just seems like on these high-speed tracks, they've really got a car that is fast in qualifying. I thought that it was, strong, obviously, at some other tracks as well. But it seems like when I look at the data and stuff in SMT, like down the straightaways, the Fords still are very, very fast. But it didn't necessarily translate to race speed, even though you did have some outliers that were, Blaney and a few others that were up front. So, I don't know why TV doesn't talk about, these are all new cars, but they're never going to be as good as the current Chevrolet. You can't be better than that. So, it's the ingenuity. You definitely kind of, this is the box these cars will be in for a very long time, unless NASCAR chooses to move that line.
I got a Dear Denny here for you. Are right and left side tires different compounds, or if you take two rights, can you use those saved lefts as rights later?
No, you cannot. If you put those left side tires on the right side, you will have a tough go at it.
Isn't that what Truex did a few years ago at Homestead?
He did at Homestead, yeah. So it just it takes all the stagger out of the car. So NASCAR 101, the right side tires are bigger than the left side tires. So that's what it helps the car track around the corner. The bigger the right side is than the left side. Think about this. If you had a car and you just pushed it, right? If the tires are bigger on the right, it's going to make it go left. So that's you can't use left side tires on the right. So basically, if you take right side tires during the day, and you only get a certain amount of tires in the course of a race, if you take right side tires, you likely are done with that set, because very rarely will you come in and then take lefts in another pit scenario.
Okay, follow-up question. What about at road courses?
I believe they're square.
Your tires are square.
Not literally, Jared. They're the same size.
Got it. So this question, if it applied to a road course, could you use?
Yes.
They're all the same.
Yes.
Because you lay them, the pit crews lay them out in a certain manner in the pit box, right, to make sure you don't forget, and then they're written on it as well.
Yeah, they try to match the tires the best that they can. The teams are much smarter in that than what I can explain, but they do. They match the tires, build a tire set out of the tires that all the tires that they get, and then they'll kind of put them with, hey, this left side tire works good with this right side tire. And so that's why how you see them all planned out and whatnot. It's a tough job being a tire person, because you got tons of tires any given weekend to have to deal with, and you're managing them all, and you're trying to keep the stagger of each set consistent, which that's a job in itself. So it's a big part of what we're doing.
What's the person that's burning off when you see the tires get taken off? What were they trying to accomplish there?
Yeah, they're trying to get the excess rubber off. So when you see us go, as we're running at speed, we're laying rubber down on the racetrack. When we slow down for a caution, those hot tires, they're probably, the surface of them is 200 and something degrees, right? It then picks up the rubber that has been put on the racetrack. So there's a layer of loose rubber on those tires under caution, which is why you also see us swerving back and forth before we go green. If we choose not to pit, you'll see us doing some heavy swerving. We're trying to get that loose rubber off of the tires, so that way when we charge in the corner on a restart on older tires, we're riding on actual tire rubber that is stuck to the tire and not the loose rubber that we just picked up, because your car will just take off if you don't clean your tires up well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whose job is it to make sure that the correct tire goes on the correct wheel? Like, does each tire changer go get their specific tire before the pit stop, or is there a guy specifically that says, okay, here's this tire for you, here's this tire for you?
No, they'll just put them up on the wall, and yeah, they'll know that here, the guys that are going to go across this side, these are the tires for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know each tire. They basically probably set them on the wall, and they know each person who's going to be touching that tire to put it on the car. They know that that's their tire. So
what's the point of when the tire's taken off, though? You see somebody.
Yes. Yeah. So I was going to get back to that. What they're doing is they're scraping off that old rubber to then measure. There's little pinholes in each of the tire to then measure how much the tire has been worn. So they've got a little gauge that they'll stick in these holes in the tire, and it shows how much of the tread has been worn during the course of that run.
A lot of math in this sport, Travis.
There is. That's why, these are the stories that definitely need to be told, and to kind of, again, what you see is cars going around in circles every Sunday. It's a ton of stuff that makes them go.
Yeah. There's more to racing than just the guy driving the car, right? Plenty of. You're good at math. You probably have a home in racing somewhere if you want it.
100%. When you kind of digest this whole Chastain Larson thing, you definitely have to go back earlier